Okay, so oh, hold on, sorry. Forgot, I need to turn on my music, even though I can probably barely hear it between the wind and the traffic, but we'll put it on anyway because why not? I don't really care. So let's just do that. Okay. All right. So we're going to be doing two paintings. Now you can see that's the one I've done before. I've never liked how these paintings have come out. So I'm doing things a little differently this time. I'm going to do this one based on that, but it's going to be monochrome, and then I'm going to do a wash of one color. So the only tools we'll be using for this are foam brush, maybe this little one, but probably not, and a natural sponge. That. Otherwise, it's basically black and white acrylic. So this one is going to be easy because it's basically just making those initial shapes, and then I'm going to let this dry. Then I'm going to go in with a fine pen to do all the detail work. But for the beginning, I'm just doing big shapes, and then the bottom stuff in white and grays, and then I'll go in and do the detail after it dries. So this painting should be fairly quick, and then I will be doing a different painting, but I'll probably stop the recording and start it when I do that. But I'm doing these on the same day, which is the day after Christmas 2026. So, all right, let's start off with Mars Black, which I have gone through this tube so quickly. I'm going to need more of this, but that's all right. That's how paint is. I just ordered a whole bunch of paint. Because I've gone through a lot of it. But like I said, that's just the way it goes. So I'm going to try to squeeze as much out of this. I don't know that I'll need a lot, but I want to make sure I have enough, because the problem with acrylic is it just dries so quickly that you don't want to waste time. So going to do our big central tree here. So let's get this brush loaded up, and then we'll just draw a tree, basically, like this, and have it go right off, and then grab it again, and let's do our other side of the tree. Try to have it come up into a nice little point, like this. And the nice part is now that I have these acrylic pens, I can fix a lot of the errors with this tree after the fact. So right now I'm just getting the broad, really broad shape in, and then if I miss anything I can fix it with the pen, which is really nice compared to before I had the pens, where if I didn't get it on the canvas, it wasn't there. That was it. I mean, there was just no way to really, I could come in after the fact. I'm also trying to keep this paint thin so it dries faster, because again, I can come in and I can go over this with the pens, and I don't have to use as much paint initially, and that'll let it dry faster too. So this is going to be a relatively probably quick painting, because it's really just laying down the acrylic, and then I got to let it dry overnight, and then I can do the rest of it actually inside or with the pens out here. I think I'll do it with the pens out here so you can actually see what I'm doing, although I don't know how well that's going to pick up, because I'm going to be so close to the canvas. I don't know if you're really going to see it, but we can try it. All right, so that's the tree. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty much what I want. Let's do a little bit more in here just to darken these areas up. But essentially, it's just a tree shape. There's not that much complicated here. Yeah, okay, so there's your basic. You can see, same tree form, more or less. I don't mind having it in the center. Some people get annoyed at like center stuff like that. I don't. So now I'm going to do one of the big branches off of like this. Just have that come in, and we'll thicken that down here. Ooh, that's a good shape. It's actually very good. And I'm going to do one more going off like it is on that one. I kind of like that, but I'm going to start it further down, thick, and then just have it wander up. Ooh, that's a good shape too. And then just follow that, and thicken that down here into the base, just like that. And again, I'm not going to worry too much about anything else because I can fix it with the pens. So we'll just darken that there, thicken that up, and now we're going to do our thin branches. So we'll get a bunch of paint on here, and then I'm going to do like gray and white too. So thick at the bottom, and then let it thin out and kind of wander as it comes up. See, and something like that I can fix with a pen later. I'm not going to worry too much. Thicken it down there just so it looks right. Yep. Okay. Let's get both sides of that. I'm gonna need more paint in a second, obviously. So thick on the bottom, come up, follow. Ooh, that one came out really well. All right, and then a little more at the bottom here just to give it a base. Just like that, doesn't have to be complicated. Yeah, actually that looks really good. Okay, let's get more paint, because of course, that's how much I've got left, which is not much. All right, hold on, let me get more, but I don't want to use it for no reason. I don't want to just use it, because I'm gonna need some for the bottom too. So I gotta save a little bit of this for the stuff at the bottom. Yeah, we'll see, we'll see. I mean, I shouldn't need too much more of the black, really. And I could, worst case, use the pens to do more. Oof. Yeah, I've done that before. I made it way too thick at the top, so gotta thicken that base out to compensate. All right, that's not bad. I managed to save that. That looked terrible at first, but I managed to save it because I pushed too hard at the top, and so it widened out. And you want it to be thin, so yeah, it's all right. I managed to get it back to where it needed to be, but I really have to be careful at the top and just let it drift off instead of worrying. See, like that. That's better. And just come back down to kind of thicken those lines and give it a nice thick base, because the tree should be thicker at the bottom where the roots are. All right, and then we'll do 2 more like this, at least with the foam brush. I can always come back with a pen later, which I will be doing for like a really thin tree. Just let that wander up and over. Ah, much better. Much better. And then see, I can come down and start pushing harder to give it that base. See, that makes way more sense. Just like that. And just try to thin that paint out a little bit, and we'll do 1 more going off to the side. Okay. All right, thick that. Okay, and we'll have this one go right off to the right. Yeah, that's okay, that's fine. I got it, I got it. Widen that out, widen this out. That'll be a fairly large tree because I kind of thickened it at the top. So I gotta kind of fix that, but that's okay. I mean, it's really not a big deal. If you make it too thick at the top, you just fatten the bottom out, like that. See, it works. All right, so that's all the black trees. So now we're gonna introduce a little bit of white to give ourselves some gray trees. So just a bit of titanium white, not much at all, like that. And then I'm just gonna mix it together with the actual brush. See what we get here. So we'll take this, and we'll introduce that there. Just kind of mix it together right there. Jeez, I don't even know if I made that. That might have actually been not enough white. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on, let's see. It is a gray. It's a dark gray, but it works. Is that going to show up? Jeez, I can't tell. Well, let's see. Let's see what we get. One way to find out, everybody. One way to find out. Thick at the bottom. Oh, yeah, that's okay. And just drift right off. Oh, very nice. Very nice. All right, and then again, just thicken the base out so that this is all going to get covered up down here. Yeah, so this is okay. Yeah, that actually worked. All right, so let's do one here. Again, thick base, and then thin it out, thin it out, thin it out. Actually, it might be too thin, but we'll see. No, it's okay. I got it. I got it. And then fatten the base out. Okay. And I don't need to do too many of these. Maybe 1 more. Then I'll do the white ones. Okay, so we'll just get a lot of paint on there. And let's bring that up. And try not to follow too straight a path. Like that. And then bring it down, and we'll fatten that out. And we'll give that a nice big thick base. A little bit more. There we are. Okay. That's all going to get covered up on the bottom. Okay. Now we'll do white trees. So I'm not even going to change the... Let me seal this up. Oh, I'm going to need that again. Never mind. I'm going to just do pure white now. So let's put white right there. Don't need too much of that. And do I want to use a different brush to keep it pure white? No, you know what? I'm going to use this just to have some color on it. So I don't mind if there's a little bit of color in there. That's okay. I don't really want it to be pure white necessarily, so that's okay. All right, a couple of white trees, not many. Again, thick at the bottom, and then just let this glide upwards right off. And then bring this down. And thicken the base. There we are. And I don't mind that kind of streakiness. That does sort of look natural, so that's okay. And that. All right, so we'll do one of those. Let's do one more. Maybe two more. No, one more. One more. Yeah, one more. And the rest I'll do with the pens. I'm going to do one more with the foam brush. Fat at the bottom. And then just slowly let it come up and drift off. There we go. So let's come back from here. Just easy does it. Just enough. Just enough. And thicken it out. And there we are. And this is all going to get covered up down here. Okay, so that's the thick trees. So thick trees are done. Now we need to do the brush on the foliage on the bottom. But first, I need to clean this off. Whoa, dark clouds, not good. I thought I was going to beat the rain because it was supposed to not rain. We'll see. We'll see. Let's quickly wash this off. Here is the complicated washing process. Ready? It's just water. Water destroys acrylic. Oh, that's going to get on the lens. Sorry. I'll wash that off in a minute. Sorry, everybody. Okay. I am sure that coated the lens. Oh, yeah, I can see. Okay. That's all right. All right. Hold on a minute. I will clean the lens in a second. I'm just going to put this so it can dry. Okay. Hold on. Luckily, I keep a cleaning cloth with me. Oh, wow. Where'd all that black come from? It's just with the paint. All right, let's clean that. There we go. And I have a screen protector, so I can clean that and not worry about it too much. Okay. Did I miss black on that thing? Hold on. That's fine. I can always rewash it. All right. Okay, now we're going to come in with white. So basically it's going to be a layer of white and then grays and then blacks, and then I'm going to come in with black to make the road. And then this will be done. So first we need just pure white. So let's get pure white right here. And I'll dirty this up as I go along, and that'll be fine. So we're just going to take this corner, go into that. Right, and then just start. This is going to be the kind of the brush or foliage or whatever term you want to use. That's what this is going to be. And I'm going to cover up the bases of these trees, the light ones. The dark ones you really don't have to cover up. And we'll do that. And then let's do the other side here. All right. Just come in here, and again, this is going to be thick and splotchy, and that's what it's meant to be. So that's okay. Might pick up some of the other color underneath it, but probably not. It actually tends to work pretty well. As far as it dries so quick, you don't have to really worry about it. Just leaving spaces here so that that'll be gray anyway. And then let me think about how I want to do this. Let me think about this. Let's do a little bit more here just to give this a little bit of depth, just a bit. I'm going to be going over that anyway, so it's okay. Okay, so that's layer one. Right now, okay, what I need now is a little bit of black. Actually, hold on. Yeah, let's do the gray. So for gray, just need some... hold on, I gotta get this out. Black. There we go. Don't need a ton because it worked pretty well with just a little bit. Man. I'm telling you, it was sunny 2 minutes ago. So that figures. A little bit of white. We're just gonna mix this together right on the actual thing here. And I'll just splotch it out. That's gonna give me a nice lighter kind of gray color. There we go. And then this is going to be the next layer. See there? Just enough so that you create some layering to it without going crazy. All right. Dab, 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 dab. Got a corner. Do the same thing here. Again, it's just... the trick is to keep moving the hand so that we get some layering there. All right. We'll just do that. Yep. And then let me think about this. So then I'm going to do the same thing a little bit further down with the gray. All right, so I'm going to take some of the gray, and I'm going to come down here and do this secondary layer here. A lot of this is going to get covered up by the path, or whatever you want to call it, but I need to create the shape. And then I'm going to come in and hit it with black in a minute. But I want to create kind of a similar... I like the shapes of the pictures I've done before. I've just never gotten the colors right. So that's why this time, what I'm going to do... oh, wow. Those look a lot like flowers, too. That's good. That's good. That's what I'm going for. But this time, I really want to keep it monochrome, and then I'm going to wash the whole thing in a single color. Probably a green. I haven't figured that out yet, but we'll get to that. Okay. And now, okay, so now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab a completely... No, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, so that's going to form like that. I need to fill that in. There's going to be white, but I need darker now. So a little more black. Make this a really dark color. So I'll just put more black in there. I'm running on the very end of what I've got of black. The very end. But that's all right. That's okay. That's the nature of what it is. I'm just going to order more. I'll have more by the time I do my next painting, so that's okay. I want this to really be dark, though. So then I'm going to come down here. And in here, see, I'm going to... yeah. See, that's just dark enough that you can see it over the other gray, and that's good. That's what I'm going for. So just a third layer of color there. Just a little bit, because that path's going to come and cut into there-ish. All right, so then let's grab the same color on the end here. Darken that out. All right, and then I'm just going to come in here and just kind of accentuate this a bit. Again, I'm trying to keep some space so you can see that shape forming. All right, and then I'm going to do one more layer. Basically, the path's going to come and it's going to cut into there. This is going to be white, so I probably need more gray there, and then a little bit there and down there. So let's dabble that. Just get this corner part here. So we need a little more here. I'm going to come over this with black in a minute anyway, so it's not going to matter, and there's going to be white in there, but I do want to have some of this here, just so that there's some shape, you know? See that? That looks really good as is. Now, I still have to do all the details, so this is not the end of this, but let's get some more on here. God, I really hope it's not about to rain, but if it is, at least I'll finish this. But man, it was not supposed to rain. I checked my app and everything, but you know, sometimes counting on an app is not the best idea. So now, I don't think I want to rely on this. So what I'm going to do, actually, I guess I can just use the other corner. I'll use this corner, this clean corner, to do the white parts on top. So again, we just splotch that. Doesn't have to be a ton. There we go. And this is going to be the tops. See, this is the tops of this. There we go. See, that's... I'm kind of glad I used the clean corner. I don't know if it would have worked as well with the dirty corner. There we go. Okay, and then we just got to do these here. And then I'll cut the path in. So again, with the white, there's the white corner. And we're just dotting the tops, because this is what's sitting on top. Maybe I'll do blue. Maybe this should be like a winter scene, and I'll do it to be blue. See, I'm just trying to create a little bit of shape here, just a bit, with the white, so it looks like it's, you know, grassy hedges or bushes or whatever. There we go. Just lightly hitting that. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I gotta do a little bit more white up there. It should cover that up. So a little more white here. Just splotch that over because it should be going over that dark gray stuff. Just enough to cover that. So one more, a little more. It's amazing. That's already dried enough that it's not even picking up the gray on the sponge. I mean, that's how incredibly fast this stuff dries. It really is amazing. Because I'm so used to oil. You got to be so careful when you're mixing things, but not with this. Acrylic is just fast. Yeah, I got to cover up. Hold on, I'm just shaping out the. Yeah, I got to cover up a little bit more there too. Okay, let's get in here. Good to have different kind of heights to this too. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. I'm gonna punch a little bit more on the top here. Just a little bit more. Yeah, see, just give that a little bit of contrast in the actual shape. There we go. A little more in there. A little bit more right here, just to fill in those spaces. Yeah, see? Just don't want too many harsh edges. If it's supposed to be nature, there shouldn't be too many harsh edges in it. Clean edges, I should say. Can be harsh edges, but not clean. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's it. Okay. I'm going to wash this off real quick. Then I'm going to cut in my road. And then we'll see where we are. Let's kick the water back on. Aye. There we go. Yeah. Oop, lost it. Okay. A little bit. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna end up cutting all this out. Nobody's gonna care about watching me wash or brush. Okay. All right. Now, yeah, that's too small. Let's grab the other one. Where's the other? There it is. There we go. Use this guy. Okay. Oh, one important thing. I'm standing on like a kitchen mat for supporting my feet. I would highly advise that to people. Because standing outside on harsh, what do you call it, on the concrete, not good for your feet. Not good for your feet. So we're just cutting in a path here. I'm just basically shaping it. Doesn't have to be exact. Just gonna kind of sketch out where it's going with the brush. Yeah, see? Just do this. That's gonna come across there. So now I need more black. More black. That should be plenty. It better be. I don't have enough. I don't have much left. So that better be enough. All right. Let's blacken this out. Just so I can go over where this stuff is. There we go. Just like that. Yep. Okay. Yep. That's good. See? That's the path. Get a little more. Really got to come in here. Really got to punch this in. Give those edges. Go right off. There we go. That'll do it. For this part anyway. Yep, there we go. Okay. Yeah, see, now we have the path. That path is cutting over. It's going in there. Just looking, hold on. Probably need a little more black on the top just to come into that a little bit. Okay. Well, luckily, I have enough for that. I can manage that. I have enough black for that. So we'll do this here. Just have that coming in there. There we go. Okay. There. Right, so that's the starting point for this. So now I have to let this all dry, probably for 24 hours. And then what I'm going to do is come in with the pens and do all the fine detail. Because you can see all the details that are in there with the branches and everything. That's all going to be in here, but I'm going to do that with the pens. And that way I can do really precision and I can get a lot of it in there. So I sort of did on that one, but I also used way more paint on that. And that's why I tried to keep this thinner so that I don't have to worry about that. And the pens will grip better when there's less paint. So now I'm going to let this dry. So at this point, I'm going to step back so you can see it. There you go. That'll be the end result, except much better. But this is the starting point for it. So that's where, you know, the sun will be here and the light rays will come out and all that stuff. But like I said, I'm going to do a wash of the whole thing in probably a blue or a green. Probably blue. I haven't decided what blue yet, but something like that. I do have a test. I put a little bit of white paint on another canvas for a test. So I'm probably going to test it on there and see what I like first. But that's the ultimate goal for this, is to have it as a single color over the whole thing.